Welcome to the Morning Share.
This is a space for honest conversation, shared wisdom, and the slow work of becoming whole.
As you listen today, know that this isn't meant to be a one-way exchange.
If questions surface, if a story comes to mind, or if something meets your own life, we'd really love to hear from you.
You can join the conversation on Substack, email us at info@themorningshare.com, or leave a comment wherever you listen.
We're grateful that you're here and glad to be learning alongside you.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It is comfy Friday for us.
Yep, I'm repping the Dolphins today,
Oh,
my team.
okay. I may have to pull out my sweatshirts next. I just have to pick a team first.
Don't tell your husband it's the Broncos
Yeah.
or Houston.
Oh, definitely not.
Don't go with Houston.
Definitely not. But if you're living in Houston right now, we welcome you to the podcast. Go Texans. So this week we've been all about curiosity, and we left off Wednesday with challenging you guys to participate in an exercise that we've done, which is to observe somebody in your sphere. And then after observation, ask some really sweet questions to the end that you build connectivity to those people around you. So feel free to share those with us. I wanted to turn it on its head a little bit, and I wanted to ask Deanna, what questions do you love when people ask you? What questions show that other people care about you?
Any question that's going to ask me how I felt about something is going to be one. One question that I love is, what does your deeper self desire? That's a new one for you, right?
That's really deep.
Yeah, but I love mining the depths.
Okay.
And so, or someone just to ask me what I think about things. I think my tendency is to often get kind of lost in everyone else's conversation. And so for someone just to say something and then say, what do you think about that? Is, I don't know, it means a lot to me. What about you?
It shows that people care.
Yeah.
Which is the root of curious, which we talked about. Yeah.
What about you?
I think specifically, I love the question, and it's a way that it's asked. It's a tone of voice that it's asked. My dad does it probably the best.
I knew you were going to say this one.
He says, "How's Angela?" My dad and I, he lives in a different state, and so we talk usually once a week at least. And through the years, he calls and he asks about the kids, and he asks about my husband, ask about this. And finally, at some point in the conversation, he'll pause and he'll say, "How's Angela?" And there's something about that almost makes me want to burst into tears every single time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's probably mine, is for somebody to actually ask me how I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's a little follow-up. This is another surprise today. We're just all kinds of, this is how we practice this, right?
That's right.
What's a question that you ask yourself?
The first thing I thought was, did that work?
That's a regroup question.
Yeah. Probably the same questions that I want people to ask of me. What does your deeper self desire? What do you think?
Yeah.
What about you?
Mine's probably, to what end? It's a probing question. It's one. It still strikes me as it can make me uncomfortable even when I ask myself. But I feel like it keeps me a little more honest and grounded with who I am and how I'm operating in the world.
That's really good.
Anyway, well, there you go.
Thanks for that surprising
little exercise.
Impromptu session.
Yes. And today's Friday, so it's all about practicing what we've been talking about for the week. So, Dee, where do we start?
Yeah. We were just having a conversation in our community about asking all the questions. And I overheard someone talk about how frustrating it was for them to just be in a place of questions. And I, under my breath, kind of said, that's a great place to be.
Mm.
And they said, well, it's a frustrating place to be.
Mm.
But it's the best place to start.
Right.
With all the questions. So
yeah,
great way to start today.
I think about that quote that we've heard by Richard Rohr, where he says we've been taught what to think, but not how to think. Yeah. And making that swap of, instead of depending on what other people have told us, and just accepting that that is what it is, to dare to ask the questions is a journey.
Yeah. Actually, that's exactly what I was just thinking about. It's a parallel way to think about it would be the outcome. Like, we just want to get to the outcome or the destination, when the answer is now. It's the journey. Yeah. It's where you are now. Yeah. One could say it's the path to curiosity.
Yeah. Which,
oh my gosh, I wish you guys could see the Post-it. We have this easel board size Post-it note.
A giant Post-it note.
Yeah.
Every Post-it note lover's dream.
Yeah. Yeah. And often when we're preparing for these episodes, we just brain dump on these, giant Post-it notes. And off to the side, as we're just like discovering and adding things and quotes and ideas off to the side, we ended up developing the path of curiosity.
Right.
And so there are a few stops along the way.
Yep.
And the first stop is
observation.
Yeah.
Just taking time to be still, to notice, and to observe what or who is around you and what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah. And awareness.
Exactly. An unhurried way of life. And this has to be an active decision. Like, I talk to so many people who are they just are wrapped up. The routines are running their lives.
Absolutely.
Instead of them running their routines. And I just want to say, this is a choice you're making.
Right.
When your routines are running you, like, you have to be an active participant in your life to say, okay, I need to build in margin. I need to do things differently and live an unhurried life.
Yep.
A story sticks in my mind from when I was a kid. And honestly, I don't remember all the details, but it was about someone who they were always looking down at the ground for some sort of coin or some treasure, and ended up that had they just looked up, they would have seen what they were looking for was right there. And so the idea is, in developing this skill of observation and awareness, you've got to slow down, live an unhurried life, and look up, like, look at what's going on around you.
Right. Exactly. That will encompass both the details and the bigger picture around us. This was really a crazy story in someone, I feel like, or getting to know me better than I knew myself at a season of life. We were living abroad, actually same context as Deanna. And for the first time in 18 years, I didn't have any children at home. And so I was trying desperately to make new relationships with other moms at an international school that my children attended. And I was meeting women from all over the world, beautiful, beautiful women. And one in particular was my friend Gabby, and Gabby's from Brazil. Gabby stops me and she said, when you're not busy, I'd love to go to lunch with you. And I said, Gabby, I'm not busy. And in her beautiful, again, her accent as well as the hand motion to boot, she says, you're busy on the inside. And immediately I just kind of jerked back. And so I looked back and I wasn't upset that she said it. I just didn't understand what she was meaning. So it took me several weeks to kind of unpack that and what it meant. And I was using that energy just even in going back and forth to where I looked like I was physically in a hurry, but it was more of an energetic sense on the inside that I wasn't at peace. I wasn't at rest.
Or and maybe didn't allow you the space that you needed to be curious about things that are around you.
Oh, definitely not.
So not only did it help you develop awareness, but she saw you. Like, She observed what was going on
For
and
sure.
had the courage to say, I see you.
Yeah.
I see what's going on.
Absolutely. And it immediately produced connection. We still communicate and with deep, deep affection. And so it fostered just unbelievable conversations. She welcomed me into a new community of other Brazilian moms. And I formed relationships with other women because of that and learned so much more about this world that we live in.
So hold on, because that you just walked right into the second step on the path of curiosity. And that is from observation. You start with observation that leads you into curiosity.
Right.
And that's literally what happened with you and Gabby.
Absolutely.
It took her being vulnerable and even a bit of a risk to say, Angela, you're busy inside.
And so definitely. And then in turn, she welcomed me into a new space where I got to then show curiosity toward other people.
Yes.
And then move on to just this absolute wonder of a new culture and new experiences and new ways of thinking about things and new food and all kinds of new ways of being in this world that were unfamiliar to me prior to that.
Yeah. This area of the path, what is it? What are the things required of us to be a curious person? And we just said vulnerability. It takes someone being willing to risk some awkwardness or tension to be able to say or ask a question.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Well, it's an investment of time too, because then she had to be willing to she was already interested in developing a relationship with me, clearly. And then she had to invest time in continually, once I wasn't so busy.
Yeah.
She was doing it to the end that she could build connection with me. And so, yeah, I feel like there's this vulnerability of saying, I don't know all the things.
Oh, humility.
Oh, yeah.
It's a humility. I remember, well, we're full of anecdotes today, but I remember in college, my dean of education said one of the most important things to remember as a teacher is when a student asks you a question that you don't know the answer to, you can say, I don't know, but I will look for the answer. I'll find out for you. And that was one of the things that I have never forgotten, because it is okay to say, I don't know. Yeah. It takes a lot of humility to do that, and vulnerability.
Absolutely. Over the last couple of weeks, as we have embarked upon this journey, for me, completely new and out of my wheelhouse of understanding and abilities, I've had to learn a lot of things, which means I've had to admit on numerous occasions that I have no clue what we're actually doing. And so I found myself reaching out, asking Deanna, this may be a dumb question, and as we were developing the content for this episode, I started realizing I think I give that caveat because I have spent most of my life not wanting to look stupid by asking a question, as if asking a question made you look stupid.
Right.
Which is the wrong assumption. But it's this, it implies vulnerability because you have to admit, and there really aren't any dumb questions.
I think another really important point about humility, and we do not like this typically, is being okay in the gray area, in the tension. I can't resolve it. We want to rush to a conclusion, rush to certainty because that's comfortable. It's really uncomfortable to stay in the tension of not knowing. But I think often when we stay in the not knowing, we learn about ourselves, we learn more about the situation, we learn about each other. Yeah, but it takes a humility to be able to not rush to that certainty.
Absolutely. And we want clarity. We're all grasping for this super clear picture of something that we can control, that we can measure, that we now know this, as if all of a sudden our worth is built on how much we know or don't know.
Right.
Yeah. And I think when we so quickly try to cling to very strong answers about everything, we also prohibit ourselves and others from changing.
I think another aspect in this area of curiosity is honing our listening skills, which means I'm open and I'm inviting other perspectives. I'm willing to listen to podcasts, read books by different authors. If we're looking for confirmation for what we already believe, then we're not willing to read different authors or listen to different perspectives on the subject. So we stay closed-minded. And so that's really important on this path of curiosity, is being willing to listen to other perspectives.
To the end that we hit the last point on the path, which is wonder, which is such a great place to be. To me, it's where there's just an explosion usually of creativity, of joy, of connection, all the things we've been talking about. It seems like these are all in abundance, kind of at the end of the rainbow, if you will, a little bit on this path, is that you develop this new sense of wonder about the world we live in, about the people around us. And that, again, just continues to grow.
That's the goal.
Absolutely. It opens the door to learning more about yourself and others, for sure. I just thought of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Okay.
By C.S. Lewis. You know, when the kids like find the wardrobe and they open the door and they discover beyond the door is Narnia.
Yeah.
You know, and it's that same image.
Yeah.
Like this curiosity led them to think, why does this wardrobe look so different?
Yeah.
And then wait, what's beyond this?
Yes.
And then when they step in, it's this world of wonder. Every time you hit wonder, it's only going to breed more opportunities to observe more things, to be curious about more things, and then to find wonder in those. And so it really is an ever expanding way of being in this world.
Ever repeating cycle that we participate in.
Yeah. Yeah. There are ways that we can kind of get off of this cyclical path and maybe even get stuck in the mud a little bit. And so in between observation and curiosity, what are the off-ramps?
So it's fear and the need to defend, the need for control. So when you are observing a situation, you're developing awareness, and you start to feel the hairs on your neck start to stand up, or you feel this urge to, oh, but this, this is how it is. Those are indicators that you've lost your way. You're not on the path of curiosity. You are on the off ramp.
I can physically feel it in my body.
Yes.
I get stiff. My jaw may clench a little bit. I kind of glaze over in my eyes. I can feel it in my body. Is this resistance? I've seen something, I've already jumped to a conclusion, and I don't really have the ability in that split second to ask the question.
Okay, here's an example. I think we may need to give an example.
Okay.
A homeless person. We make quick judgments when it comes to people outside of the car window. And we're pulling up to a stoplight. And this person is holding a sign, but has clean shoes. And so we make a very quick observation. If our instinct is to make a judgment instead of to ask questions, even internally, like, I wonder, maybe someone just gave him those shoes or her those shoes.
Right.
So if our instinct is to make a judgment, then we know we've lost our way. We've veered off of the path of curiosity.
Yeah.
I think that's a quick example of what we mean by that for observation.
Absolutely. And none of these are dead ends where you can't get back on the path at any point.
Right.
I think it's once you start to veer off, whether you notice it the minute your thought process change or the minute your body, physical body changes, every one of those is an opportunity to get right back on the path. So the next stop is curiosity. So between curiosity and wonder, we discovered there's another off-ramp.
Yeah.
And what's that one?
We think the fear of what may be revealed. What in the world am I going to realize or find out if I do ask this question? If I do, if I am curious, am I going to find out something that maybe reveals something about me or reveals something about this person or about the situation?
Yeah. Are you going to find out something that would kind of challenge your assumption about that situation or person and require you to now change your mind, your way of interacting with them, your connection with them? Or are you scared of, if you allow them just to be honest, are they going to reveal to you something that may be quite true about yourself that you don't want to hear? And you've got to be willing to hear whatever they have to say and not like shut it down.
That's good. So. And then the last off ramp, this one was a little bit, I think, more difficult of a mental exercise for us. So what do you think the off ramp in this space of wonder is?
I think primarily it's to just disregard what it means to keep walking in that and just revert back to your old way of thinking.
Yep.
To kind of cycle back around, dig your heels in a little bit about what you assumed to begin with. I've noticed that oftentimes when I have taken a step in wonder, I've learned something new about someone, I'm like, okay, I can change my opinion. All it takes sometimes is for them to operate in a way that was a trigger for me to begin with, either an attitude or a reaction to me or some other part of their personality. And I can very quickly circle right back around and be like, see, I knew that I had labeled this person correctly from the beginning. I was right. And that to me is the off ramp there. Instead of staying in that tension, realizing that every human, including myself, is a cocktail of inconsistencies. I mean, at this point, we all are operating in these continual cycles of sometimes I get it right, sometimes I get it wrong. Sometimes I have a great attitude, sometimes I have an awful attitude.
Yeah.
And so the worst thing I think I can personally do is refuse to keep walking in what I have learned about them and revert back to an old way of assuming things about them.
Yes. Something that you said really struck a chord with me. If you find that you're looking for a confirmation of a previously held belief or judgment, then you know you're off the path of curiosity.
Yes. Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. There's not joy there anymore. There's not connection.
Yeah.
I want to distance myself from them. I'm now measuring somehow or another that they are back lower than I am. I feel better about myself at this point than...
Yes. Well, and comparison, that was going to be the next thing I say. Because if you think about this, let's say you are starting on a new endeavor, like this podcast or a new hobby, and you have found, you did the observation part, you were curious, and now you are in this wonder stage. I was thinking, what could derail you from staying in this space? And it would be, maybe for me, fear of failure. I can't tell you how many times in the last few months my mind goes to, well, what if we fail? Or comparing what we're doing to what other people are doing. And there's this call to return to, no, be in the moment, do what you know to do.
Yeah.
Be you, be true to who you are. And so I think if you are finding that you are dwelling in the outcome, in the what ifs or comparison or fear of failure, then you're off the path.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and you touched on this already, but how do we navigate back on the path? Now we've defined the path: observation, curiosity, wonder. We have identified these places that we can get stuck along the way. How do we get back on the path?
The getting back on the path is always going to be achieved through humility.
That's it.
Of just saying, oh, wait.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm so sorry if I shut you down.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Yeah.
So.
That's so good. Man, I have really enjoyed this week.
Yeah.
This week, catch yourself when you feel the need to be certain. Instead, pause and ask a curious question about yourself, someone you love, or even a system you're part of, then watch what opens up.
We have spent a lot of time being curious about this. And the funny thing is, in our development of this week's content, as Dee mentioned, the big Post-it notes, so many of our notes were questions. We just continually kept asking our questions. Like, okay, there's that. Okay, but what about this? And that's how a lot of this was fleshed out. And we still have probably... The Post-it note did not get exhausted in the content of this week.
Maybe we can take a picture of the Post-it note. Maybe not.
Maybe.
But yeah. And thank you for modeling curiosity in my life and the difference it's made and how it makes me feel.
Yeah.
On a daily basis.
Well, that's right back at you. I'm pretty sure I learned most of it from you.
I don't know about that.
We're recovering curiosity seekers.